Let's see if I can do this justice. Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome to the farm. This is a different one for our normal stuff. Mainly the videos on this channel are about farm projects and fixing things, building things, maintaining things around the farm. But today is a little bit different. It's a January day. It's about 40 degrees and drizzly. And so I'm using that as an excuse to come in here and play in the workshop. And this is my workshop. I've been learning to play the guitars for a few years now, and I usually play a steel string guitar. I usually stand up, and I usually have a strap around me. So my friend Joe loaned me this guitar after I showed some interest in playing some classical pieces, and he said he has many of these guitars available, and he would be happy to lend it to me. So, and I've been practicing with it and playing a few things, and it's been fun. But one thing about this guitar is that it doesn't have a strap. It's a classical guitar, and in the world of classical guitars, that's kind of a no-no. You know, they have a proper way of holding it, and a proper way of sitting, and a proper way of doing everything. And well, I'm probably not going to do that. I mean, I love the music and everything like that, but I've been playing with the strap and standing up for so long, I'm just kind of used to doing that. So what I want to do is put buttons on this guitar. First of all, let me let you know, I did ask Joe if it was okay if I put buttons on here so I could put a strap on here, and he was perfectly fine with that. Okay, so um, but a button on a guitar is where the strap, excuse me for a second, where the strap would connect to the guitar. There'll be like a little button that sticks out there, and there'll be one here, and there'll be usually one somewhere on the neck or right here. And so I asked Joe if I could put a button on it, put these things on it, and he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And as he was, agreeing to do it, he said, just an off comment, he said, are you going to buy the buttons for the guitar, or are you going to make them? Well, what a good idea. I think I'll make them. All right, full disclosure. I've been working on this project for a little while. And I initially thought it was going to be a really easy project, a 5-minute project, and I wasn't going to even bother making a video about it. Because this is a button that is generally what they use on guitars for straps. You put this on your guitar, and then you could hook your strap on it, and it looks something like that. And so that's what I thought I was going to make. It would take 5 minutes on the lathe. And so I made a few of these little buttons. This is one I made. Um, and it was getting there. I went through several mini versions of them before I got to one that I liked. And really it was about the most difficult part was deciding which tool and how to get the angles and everything correct. And that turned out okay-ish. And then I was thinking to myself that if you look at that right there, most of the button that is made is hidden, and it's by design. They want it to be hidden. And I was like looking at that thinking to myself, that's a lot of work for that much to be seen with your button. And then I noticed that with the buttons come in a variety pack. You can get stuff like that. They have these little washers in the pack. Okay. And what those are is not everything's made with these heavy duty leather things. Other straps are smaller, thinner, or, they just make them different. Sometimes though, if the strap will have a hard time staying on the button. And what they do is they have a fix, and that's these washers. And so what they do is you clip the washer over the button, and that holds it in there. And that shape gave me an idea. I was looking at that shape and I said, well, why wouldn't you, if you're making handmade buttons, why would you want to hide the button? Why wouldn't you try and make it, like a feature? And so that's what I did. And I went through many iterations of buttons. I started with that basic, shape, and I came through, made a few buttons. Hold 1 second. Sorry about that. I made a few buttons. Um, Initially, I started with the original shape. I don't know if that's going to come across. I started with the original shape that I had seen. Um, whoops, that I had seen here, and so that's where that kind of initial shape, and that's not terrible. I thought, well, let me see what else I could do with it, and I tried a few other iterations I didn't like so much, and so, but I finally found a shape that I kind of liked, and so I turned it on a nice piece of wood, and I hope this is going to come across. I turned it on a nice piece of wood, and I kind of like that, and it works good. Um, I think it's a little bit big for the strap. Hold on a second. I'm not hating it, but I think it's the diameter may be a little bit wide. But I'm definitely getting closer to liking that. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to a matching set, probably this basic shape, but maybe it's a little bit slightly smaller in diameter. And then I'll mount these onto the guitar, and we'll see how it goes. All right, what we have here is a little work in progress going on here. What I think I'm going to do is, as you can see, the original washer that I was looking at is slightly smaller. This is a 1-inch washer, and this is slightly bigger than that. I'm going to try and make this, but make it about the size of the other washer. The only difference is I'm going to probably put this little stem on here, so that all right. So I will probably add a little stem there. That will be where the strap would connect. The strap will sit there, and then this will be on top of the strap. This is my 1974 Rockwell 11-inch wood lathe. A good friend of mine gave it to me, oh God, about 20 years ago. And let me tell you, I everything I know about turning, I learned on this lathe, and from watching YouTube videos. And that's not a YouTube plug. That's a fact. I didn't know how to use it. I went on YouTube and I watched people who did. And so I love this whole thing. It's a belt-driven system. You have to make it go faster or make it go slower. You have to change the belt on different gears under behind here. It's very manual. The only thing it has is that one switch right there. That's it. It's very basic, and I use it as much as I can. It lets you be creative, but you can be very, very precise and do some really cool stuff on it. So it's been my favorite, one of my favorite tools in the shop. So I've set up a shot here. So for a few minutes, you're just going to have to look at my hands. I'm going to remake these, hopefully make a matching set of these two. What I've got here chucked up is a piece of Bubinga wood. Um, in my opinion, there's two great things about Bubinga. One, the name is Bubinga, and it's a lot of fun to say Bubinga. Uh, so, but two, it's a very fine grain, very, very fine grain wood, and it has a lot of detail in it, and you can put a lot of detail in it with your chisels, and it won't tear out, and it's a great wood to make this kind of stuff with. So I'm going to remake this, but it's going to have a stem on it. It's going to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with 1 inch, this size here, so it's going to be slightly smaller than it is now. Same basic pattern on it. I'm not really making this to be a wood turning video. It's really more about the button itself. But just to let you know, I'll be using, probably get a parting tool. I'll be using a skew chisel and probably a bowl gouge because, well, basically those are my favorite tools to use. So you'll probably see a lot of those. So I'm not going to make you sit through it. I'm going to do a time lapse, and you can watch it, and then we'll, hopefully we'll pop to the end, and we'll have a successful little button. So I'll show you. Okay, mission accomplished, I think. I created two matching buttons. Hopefully you guys can see that really well. They're matching buttons. And I'm happy with the size. I'm happy. I did make them smaller. I'm going to hold. This is the original one. This is the that was it. Slightly smaller. But here's the thing. I believe that I was correct. That it looks better on the. It looks better. It's not too chunky. It looks good on the strap. It's not too big. Anyway, so right now I'm going to go get the guitar, and I'm going to go get a drill and some screws, and we're going to mount the strap onto the guitar and call this challenge completed. Well, here we are, back at the beginning, or back where we started from, anyways. Thank you, Joe. This was a great idea. It was a fantastic way to spend a cold January day and in the workshop playing around. I'm very, very happy with it. First of all, I have a strap, and I'm very comfortable now. And I like the way it turned around. I hope you guys can see this. I think it turned out good. I'm happy with both of them. Everything looks good, works well. Everything's fine. I did find, yes, there is a piece of wood here. I think they figured out that someday some knucklehead like myself was going to come along and say, "Hey, I want to have a button here." So everything's secure, and I'm very happy with it. Would I've done anything different? Yes, I would have probably matched the wood with the wood on the guitar better. It looked, in my defense, okay, it looked red when it was on the lathe, but after I cut it and I polished it and all the other stuff, it turned out it's very brown. It's not red at all. So, anyways, life goes on. You learn, you live and learn, right? Thank you very much for coming to the channel. Thank you for watching to the end. Please hit subscribe. That would be fantastic. I'm just getting started. I hope you'll come back to the farm. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in the next few months. We've got calves coming along. We've got we're doing some stuff with the horses. I've got fences to fix galore. You know, some road maintenance and things of that nature. So basically life on the farm. If you want to know what it's like to live on a farm, welcome. Here you go. Thank you very much for coming. I hope to see you again. Bye.